Winning Women's Wednesday. Woo, Studio USA. And I definitely have some winning women here. I am woefully outnumbered. Yeah, I am woefully outnumbered. It is there was 4 non-blondes back in the day. But,
I remember.
Yes. But we've got 3 actual blondes. So
I don't know about actual.
Well,
mine was actual. I don't know what it is now. So we'll see.
well, and I'm going for silver. It's my silver certificate.
Yeah.
Nice.
As long as it's there, though, and I have my gimmick done. So
yeah, you're good.
Yeah. So how we doing?
Doing great.
Okay, so we've got co-host Michelle,
Hello. Good morning.
co-host Ashley,
Good morning.
and our surprise guest, who now probably believes that I'm not mad at her anymore.
Well, they left the door unlocked, so I found my way in. So
Yes.
good morning,
Yeah.
ladies.
Yes, so we've got Missy with us as well. MissInformed Missy herself. And so let's pick up where we left off, and now we can actually include Missy in the reindeer games of our accountability summer.
Absolutely. So it is summertime. How many of us are loving summer? Are you a summer girl?
I'm a money girl, and so I like summer because I tend to make more money during the summer.
Ain't that the truth? Oh my goodness. But you have children, so is it hard for you to stay focused?
I don't know what that word is. Can you please give me a definition? Yes, it's definitely hard to stay focused and on task and have a schedule whenever you've got kids who do not like schedule or to stay on task and don't really like to focus.
Do they get that from their mother?
Yes.
Understood.
Yes, I do.
Understood. Same. Ashley, how about you? How's summer going?
Summer's fine. We're in that, preheat section of the summer where it's
Yes.
already really hot and everybody's complaining a little bit. And
Yeah.
I'm sweating in places I don't like to sweat.
Amen.
So, which goes to the accountability piece because I'm working towards Bikini Christmas.
Yes.
Right. 'Cause-
Wait, what?
Yeah. So I can't do it overnight. So here we are. So I'm striving for Bikini Christmas, which I won't wear a bikini, but it's just to shame me into being accountable with my journey here.
We could make a bikini Christmas. We could put the
We could do,
bikinis
Rick,
for-
there's going to be a new show, Bikini Christmas.
I feel like there's a family Christmas card coming.
They're good.
Threaten me with a good time.
Oh,
Slay,
gosh.
girl.
Yeah, so we'll see. However, I did hurt my back the other day, and so that was part of the drama there. So I'm a little frustrated, but that's okay.
So did
What
they give you?
happened?
Yeah, did they give you a diagnosis on that?
So apparently I have mild scoliosis, which I was not aware of, and I told my mom. She goes, "Oh yeah, I kind of remember that." Like, you forget to pass on that information.
Shout out to us Gen Xers. Yes.
I'm like, did you
Yes.
forget to give me that information? So
Just straighten up. You'll be fine.
Well, that's exactly. So I'm sitting here, okay.
Yeah. Have you tried not having scoliosis?
I mean, we'll figure that out. But I have a wonderful chiropractor. So Dr. Alexander, he's great, and I'm going back this afternoon. But the funny part about that is, so I never had the electrode stuff.
Oh, TENS?
Yeah,
The TENS unit?
Yeah, so they put it on my back, and then he had a heating pad underneath, and he gave me the switch to hold, and he's like, "You can hold the switch." I didn't realize that turned off the heating pad, and I was baking, so I'm extra crispy on my back, and I was just, tears are strolling down my face. I'm like, no, I need to do this to help my back. My mom's laughing hysterically, going, "You just release it, and it cools the heating pad, and then it'll work its way back up." So I'm done. But I'll go back this afternoon. At least I know the pony trick. So
Listen, the chiropractor is a godsend. I'm 38 years old, and I could not live without a chiropractor.
Same girl.
That man, and you can get those little 10 units on Amazon and have it in your nightstand. If you're on the same journey as me, then it's nice to just have that handy in case the chiropractor is closed or you can't get in because you might need that. Go to Amazon and get you one. They're cheap.
Amazon, jeez, yeah,
It's the best.
Let's try it.
It's the best.
Am I the only? I'm over here I still not entirely snake oil on the chiropractor side, but boy,
I get where you're coming
there's
from.
some if I walked in and there was elixir for sale and there was some just some concoctions.
Don't mind Rick with all of his gimmicks on the end that he's sitting there
Right,
taking.
his
But
magic
but the chiropractor is the
gone to
snake oil
school.
salesman, so that's fine.
Well, and maybe if the chiropractor had lion's mane gummies.
Hey,
and
I just took them. I just took them on the
right
year.
on.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've also got my new.
Is that a Perrier?
Yeah,
He got fancy.
Yeah, we got
He got fancy on us.
We've upgraded.
Yeah.
Would anyone like a fizzy water from not domestic, an international fizzy water?
Oh,
No, I'm good.
San Pellegrino.
I don't like their
Got
health
San
care either.
We got San Pellegrino too.
So fancy.
Look at you.
Yeah.
We are stepping
Ram-
up.
Rambler would never even tag me on, or like my posts.
And they're local.
So you're done.
They're
Aren't
in
they
Austin.
local?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm trying to like Texas, bro. And nope.
So now we've moved on.
Yes.
We're international now.
Yeah.
I love
I
it.
dig it. Well, I mean, it looks like it's a Perrier, but it says Mason. What is the difference?
Maison.
Maison Perrier.
Oh, it's so fancy.
I have no idea.
It's fine.
I'm guessing it was
Marketing.
like $2 a six pack more now, is what I'm guessing.
Probably,
since
yeah,
it's in
yeah.
Maison.
Everything.
Yeah.
Extra word.
Yeah.
Everything's more
Yes.
expensive.
Ain't
Yes.
that the truth?
But my gummies are kicking in, so maybe my French will reboot.
Oh my gosh.
Love it. Okay, so let's get some accountability from the Oracle.
Oh,
What are we
okay.
thinking?
Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Okay.
Oracle?
So, okay, let's kind of recap what everyone was supposed to be doing. So, I know, Rick, you were supposed to have some sessions with your accountant.
Yes.
That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, and just to that, I will be filling out line item spreadsheets this afternoon. So I've gathered most of my resources.
Good job.
But
Good
like
job.
Historically accurate for me, the appointment is tomorrow. So they will have approximately 17 seconds to look over anything
Excellent.
to actually for their
Excellent.
consult. Yeah.
Okay.
I like
So,
it.
yeah. So no, I'm just keeping on. It's on brand.
But you're being accountable. You're doing what you're
Yes.
supposed to do. So for me, I was supposed to post a blog on not short stack, which in fact is pancakes, and I did end up making pancakes a couple days later.
God, I love pancakes.
I know, me too. They were so good. But I was supposed to post a blog on Substack, and I did.
Okay, good.
I did it. And then tell us what you were supposed to do.
I was supposed to continue doing my Pilates, and then I hurt my back.
And
So
then
I'm
less
very-
vodka. Weren't we doing less vodka?
Yeah,
Okay. And no one really gave you a definition of what less would be, so
Yeah.
that's fair.
it is fair. I did
Yeah.
less,
Okay. Okay.
and then I'm going back this week. So what I'm trying to do is just like pool vodka. Like, how's that? Right? Because you get in the pool. And like, yeah,
Oh,
that's fine.
okay. Okay. Okay.
So
Got it.
Yes,
That makes sense.
So
Okay.
during the week, I'm doing well, but hopefully my back will be better in the next
Yeah.
couple of days, so I
Yeah.
can get back because that's
So
really a bummer.
But here's the question.
Yeah.
If it's becoming a habit for you and it's becoming something that's going to be a part of your life and you're enjoying it, you'll find that you miss it while your back is hurting. Are
I
you
know.
missing it?
No, I am missing it because
Okay,
I was
good.
seeing I was seeing some improvement for sure. But Dr. Alexander also readjusted both of my hips while I was there, and that was part of trying to get some more mobility with
Yeah.
doing the Pilates and stuff like that in my hips. So it's like I kind of the fast track a little bit by
Yeah,
him
for
getting
sure.
in there. So we'll see.
Good job.
No, only if he can cure my mild scoliosis that I've had for 39 years. We'll see if that works.
There's really nothing more Gen X than that right there.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, I kind of recall something like that. Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks so
I
much.
caught a little bit of deja vu there. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just rub some dirt on it.
Yeah. That
Just
happened.
go
that-
outside.
That happened when you were 5.
Yeah, you're fine.
It's good.
Mom.
Yes.
So
You're
awesome.
like, no, I've had the spine the whole time.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, but I just love how he looks at me. Were you aware you have mild scoliosis? Nope. Got it. Okay, keep going. Yeah.
So great.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
So, Missy, hearing our ridiculousness, what's something you would want to focus on?
Well, to be honest with you, the thing that I can't stop thinking about this past week is the real estate market and what's happening in it. I feel like it's gotten a little stagnant. I feel
For
like
sure.
every listings across the board are having to have price drops, and buyers are being more reclusive that are doing financing. It's the cash that I see that are more aggressive right now. And so I'm just trying to get a bead on the market, to be honest with you. I'd love to hear what y'all have to say, if y'all have any remarks on what the market's done this past week.
Well, the market's been sucky. That's my professional statement.
It's so strange, but obviously it's house to house, it's city to city, it's neighborhood to neighborhood right now. It's gotten very hyper local, which
Yes.
the market's always been. But I think we've seen the last few years there's been some grace because people were just trying to find inventory, so they were willing to push out. And now I think they're getting super specific and hyper local again. I mean, I had two buyers in a matter of 48 hours. One went 60 over ask to get the house. The other one got the house for 30 under ask.
Wow.
And so you sit there and you look at that and you're like, wow, how does that? And it was
Frisco Allen?
it was McKinney, and the other one was Las Colinas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was just really interesting, but it also has to do with pricing.
Absolutely.
And how the home is being presented. Not as much as condition, because they can be in good condition, but if they're not presenting it appropriately, and I think that's what we saw on the one house, I feel like they priced way too low And then that obviously set up the excitement factor and everything else. And then it was just very well presented. It was still a family was living in there. They have very good taste. And so it was nicely presented and staged versus the other one, the family had moved out. But they still had pictures on the walls and things like that, but there was no furniture. It was kind of hard to get, I think, a feel for the space.
It wasn't warm.
No, it wasn't warm. And even though the space itself was in good condition, the house was in good condition. They're roughly the same age even. It was lacking. It was lacking, the warmth and the ability to really see what it was going to look like for them. And it lucked out for that second couple because they're getting married and they were able to get $20,000 in closing costs.
Amazing.
And then another 10 to 15 off the sales price, which was great. So no, it's proven itself to work, but it's that hyper local market I think that we're just having to look at.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's good stuff. What you got for us?
So, first off, I'm curious since I have 3 listing agents here, and I always have this discussion where the presentation and, of course I'm obligated, the marketing is crucial, but it kind of is.
Of course it is.
But I was curious on y'all's actual take on, so vacant houses from a photographer standpoint, that's awesome. Like all my people, they love, it's on a super and there's nobody there. Oh my God, it's the best.
Yeah.
However,
that's easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But however, on the flip side, what are y'all's take and position on staging, virtual staging, the sort of almost doing a makeover on a given property? And because I have some agents that do it every single time, and I have like one shout out to Andrea Miller, who is a total killer, and she's also killing herself because they roll up with the trailer and they stage and they do all this stuff, and then by the time it comes to do the video, she's like, okay, so and you should take a knee, standing 8 count, all right, go. But on that, it's such a broad spectrum where it influences everything that I see.
And again, to Ashley's point, I think it's hyper local because it depends on the house, the market, the current situation. I have some new construction houses that are vacant and they look beautiful. I mean, everything's new and shiny and gorgeous. I have a house that we're closing on next week that Cruz actually did the photography for.
Shout out to Cruz.
Shout out to Cruz. Good job. But his ability to capture the house without it was obviously furnished, but he was able to capture the elements of the home. It was a unique home, and he was able to capture the different elements outside of the furniture. And that was really important for that house because their taste was a little unique.
Yeah.
And the house itself was unique. And if you put all that together, it wouldn't have been a fit for every buyer.
Yeah.
But he was able to take a bird's eye view, step outside, and really capture all the different pieces and elements of the home. So in that instance, I think that the home being vacant could have been better. Sometimes, yeah, just because of the uniqueness of it. It had a limestone wall. It had just some unique features.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a cool house. It was a great house. And then on the flip side, there's some houses that need furniture, and sometimes not the furniture that the homeowner has picked.
So I'm a sadist, which is why my back hurts. And so so I put all my sellers through Ashley Gentry boot camp. And some probably don't need it, but I've got my regimen now.
Consistency.
Yeah, I do. And so I don't like virtual staging on anything that is actually being is a sale, a resale. We do virtual
I like
staging
it for new construction. And that's about it.
Yeah, I'm good with. Yeah. We do it on our rentals, on some of our rentals on our property management side, and I think that's helpful just for people to be able to visually look back and see how their stuff's going to fit in the space. But it's a much more transactional environment. Whereas on listings, I stage every single one of my listings myself. And so I do the same thing. We've gotten to the point where now progression, I don't even have an office space anymore. I have a design center because I can office from home, and it was more important to have the space to do that. So we can stage probably about 12 to 15,000 square feet at any given cycle. And it's really helped. And for me, it's just another value proposition, not that I don't have other things. So that's part of my selling features to say, hey, I'm bringing this aspect to you guys, whether it's decluttering and helping them, pack a little bit and try to do that. And I call it edit. We're going to edit what your house looks like right now.
That's a great
It's not
word.
clutter. We're going to pre-pack some of the more personal items and everything else. You're going to give me a blank canvas. And I had an older woman who's in one of the Lock and Leaves in Windsong. And I'll be the third listing agent that has had that house. And her furniture was beautiful. It just was not to scale. It was larger furniture in this really beautiful 1,600 square foot townhome. And I just said, well, look, we're going to stage. And she goes, well, the 4 other agents I've interviewed didn't mention staging. I said, well, that's why I'm sitting here.
Yeah, and that's why it's
Yeah, and so she went with me, and she goes, well, I'm kind of like a skeptic. Well, we'll see. And so when it was all done and she even came to the house while the photos were being taken, she just looked at me, she goes, I just can't even believe it. And that was about all I got out of her. And then later that night, she said, you're completely correct. Everything looks so much better. I can't even believe this is my house. And so the proof is in the pudding. I mean, her stuff was really pretty, but she had these ornate Mongolian rugs in there that were too big for the space, and you couldn't see the beautiful floor. So I just had to convince her that your $14,000 rug needs to be rolled up and put in the garage.
That's a hard conversation to have.
It is, but you know what? I also want to exceed your expectations. So we gotta tee each other up for success. But
yeah, and it's still worth $14,000 in the garage.
100%.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're good.
And I don't think that I'm on the scale that you are as an agent. I don't have a design center, and I am very conservative and try to be as pocket friendly as possible.
Yeah.
So whenever I have these discussions with my listing appointment and I'm trying to get them ready, I do believe staging is critical.
Yep.
But if it's going to be ugly staging, I'd rather it be vacant. So I've got some things, and we can incorporate a stager. But if the journey that they're on is different, then I would rather it be vacant than bad staging for obvious reasons, because some people just can't see past that.
Well, yeah, and one of the things that I do in that regard when agents like, oh, what do you think about staging? I'm like, well, I love it, but it's a matter of what do you think about staging? And it's like, are you asking me that because you don't want to spend the money? Mm-hmm. Because then no matter what, if they make it look like the Taj Mahal, you're going to be balled up, tied up, and anxious the whole time regardless. I said, so if they're really like kind of waffling on that, I say like, why don't you do virtual staging on like 3 or 4 images, spend $100 or $150, see what happens on the first weekend, get a barometer of the feedback, and then if you want to stage, the stagers still exist. And it's like, I got a bunch of numbers that I can hook you up with. And so I try to get them into the mindset of, oh, it matters, but think about it, or like, why are you hesitant?
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to stage, at least pack up some things.
You have to have the clutter
You're gonna
out.
move.
Yeah, addition by subtraction.
That's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You have to have the space.
sure.
The
I love
be
that.
out.
We're going to edit.
Yeah.
Because
I like that.
Well, and it's all in the vernacular, and what terms you use. Like, I don't look at them and just go, gosh, your stuff is awful, right? That's not going to work.
You do have to be.
You do have to, and walking through and just saying, hey, you know what? Honestly, what we're doing is we're pre-packing. And the other thing too is walking through. It was really funny in that vacant house that they still. You walk in this very dramatic entryway, and they still had their tiles of all their family photos. And my clients went up to it, and one of them went to UT, and but the couple went to UT, and so they were more fascinated with looking at all the UT paraphernalia throughout the house that was still on the walls versus the house itself. They both kind of we made an offer, but then they both forgot what it looked like. And they're like, can we go back to the house? And I'm like, absolutely. Like, they were going room to room. Oh, I didn't remember that. Well, it's because they were looking at, 24 different photos on there and loved that they, went to UT and all these other things, but they lost sight of the house. And so using those examples when you're talking to somebody, hey, I love that you have a cross wall and that's really important to you, but understand that's very specific and it's very personal too.
And distracting.
And it's distracting. And so from that side, I sit there and go, I don't want somebody to walk away and go, man, they really had some beautiful crosses on the wall, but I don't remember what the kitchen looked like.
Exactly.
And that's what happens. And so when you shift it to that, it's not a negative that you have these things. It's just we need them to remember the limestone wall. We need them to remember the interesting features about the house, not necessarily the things that don't convey with it.
Exactly.
So it's all in how you sell it.
To keep my my clients on task, I find myself taking notes and sending it to them in a text message as reviewing a home. I have them rated on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 sucks, 5 is spectacular. So we're walking through, and I want you to tell me, okay, now that we've seen it on a scale of 1 to 5, where do y'all rate it? Okay, now I want you to tell me the 2 favorite things that you liked about it and something that you really didn't like about it. And I put it in a text message, a group text message to them, so that when we're done with the showings, because a lot of us are doing multiple showings, we're able to review and use that as a scale to remember what we liked about each house, and also that rating system, so they knew how they felt when they were actually in the home. Yeah. And that tends to be helpful to keep them on task.
Yep, for sure, for sure.
Right on.
I love it, love it. So for you, going back to accountability and focus over the summer, which your real estate business is what you're trying to focus on, what is a task you need to do to focus on real estate that you're struggling with?
That's spectacular. Well, to be very honest with you, I've got my hands on a lot of things, and I'm trying to delegate accordingly. So and I'm a micromanager. So my biggest problem is delegation. I'm trying to find people that I can trust that I can delegate to. That is my problem, to find people that are smart.
So you need a team. You're ready for a team.
Yes, ma'am.
That's an exciting place to be.
Is it? No, you're right. You're right. It is, and I do have some wonderful people around me that I can always lean on for support. And I do have a young lady that has actually joined, and she's, bless her heart, she's gonna hate me in the end of it. But I'm ready to start feeding her and giving her things, and then letting her just kind of help grow the team, and me kind of sit back and do other things. I think is where my life journey is.
So do you have job descriptions? Do you have a list of the things that you really want taken off your plate?
I absolutely do. But what I'm really trying to focus on is finding the right people and fanning what they're good at. So it's about, and I've got my eyes on a few. So I mean, it's just about finding them and fanning what they're good at, so that it helps us flourish together. Because I'm not somebody that enjoys data entry and systems and things of that nature. I'm somebody that would rather be in front of people and talking. I'm obviously a camera whore. I'd rather be out and shaking hands, So I absolutely need somebody.
I don't know most people like data entry, so
no.
I think it's I love data entry.
If you find someone, I need them as well.
Yeah, there's like a whole swath of just like super anxious, nerdy, like it's daylight, I can't go. No.
Yeah.
Could you put me in a cubby hole where I could just so that there's a specific makeup of those folks. Having I did that as a teenager, as when a couple of my first jobs were in the data entry thing, where it's like, here, just sit here and key this bullshit in for endless hours, and after about 15 minutes, you're like, oh my god, and then
which is why you could be held accountable for your accountant, because you don't want to sit there and do all those things.
Look at that! How about that for a dovetail?
Yeah, good job. Yeah,
I'm good at that.
Yes,
I worked for a tax accountant who did cost segregation studies and did data entry, and it was great money. I only had to work during tax season. It was just before real estate. I only had to work during tax season, but I wanted to take a pen and pop it in my eye and then eat it. I'd rather. For somebody like me, it was
sounds awful.
I'd rather be in prison.
Oh,
it was.
That's a whole nother show. Yeah,
I absolutely despised having to do the data, because we had to read the blueprints and then do the data entry on the Excel sheets, and
and I actually did it. It was in Las Colinas, and this has probably been 1988 or 89. It was a giant furniture company in Las Colinas, and this was whatever it was, AS400 or whatever, the old-timey computer where it's just green.
Oh, yes.
There's no mouse. There's no
It
none of this
was
shit.
AS400, and it had the screen that you looked into.
Yeah. It was
that's awful.
Wow.
And it would literally be purchase orders that were just every color of the rainbow, every size and form factor from all over the country, these corporate purchase orders where you literally just enter the SKU numbers.
Well, but here's the deal. Everybody had to do it because there was no type of automation or systems that actually pulled that data in and populated it. So those were all of our first jobs. They were so bad.
Yes,
so
or
bad.
telemarketing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was another one.
Yes. We could do a whole show on our
Oh my
worst
God.
jobs.
Yeah, and so now for my accountability, what I'll be doing later is, so they give me a little, there's a portal that I have to upload the docs to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And they're kind of whipping my ass on things like, okay, so I have credit cards in my name, but I buy things only for the business. So for example,
Sure, we do the same
we
thing.
may or may not crash drones periodically.
Right.
And there may
Everyone look at Cruz. Oh,
and
he's gone.
yeah, he's gone.
Okay, he's crashing a drone.
But exactly. There it goes. And we may or may not have done it more than once on a day where the morning job crashes, the afternoon job needs a drone.
Oh, okay, so you got to go buy one real quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the easiest road to Rome on that was get a Best Buy credit card that is only used for that.
Right.
So that no matter what happens, I can go to Best Buy and get a drone.
There you
Yeah.
go.
But the accountant doesn't like that.
They frowned. Yeah.
You know what? I tell my accountant to get over it. You know, you're not going to like a lot of things that I'm going to bring to you, but you're going to figure it out, right?
And you're going to keep me out of prison.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's the goal.
So, the goal is time served or get a good behavior.
Ashley, I don't know that we can write off one more Total Wine order. Yes, you can, and you will.
You will.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
And for me, there's the part of me where at a certain point in time, I would have felt like, oh, I'm just doing this wrong. I'm just whatever. But now I'm more like, dude, I make this up as I go.
Right.
Like, where were you when where were you when the drones were crashing?
Yeah.
Or how would you do that? Because
Real-time problem solving. That's what it is.
Yes.
You guys get to sit on your throne with your spreadsheets
So
and do
I'm-
everything else.
And judge.
And judge us from afar while we're in real time.
Yeah,
in the
Real-time
world.
problems
Yes.
require real-time solutions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so Ashley's already just brought value. Like today, it's like we're editing and real-time problem solving.
Real-time,
Yes.
real-time problem
That
solving.
now just will cover a multitude of my
It will.
sins.
Yes,
absolutely. That's what you can tell your accountant. Hey, listen, you can judge me, but in the moment, this seemed like the best solution.
And we're still in business.
And we're still in business. Yes, sir.
So what about you guys on your accountability? So are you doing another short stack?
So the first short stack, I kind of got lucky because all I really had to do was an intro. Like that was what they suggested. So I incorporated a little bit about Ignite U90 and my coaching programs and what the purpose of the Substack is. So by next Friday, I've got to do a real raw Substack. So, and it's going to actually be about, I'm trying to decide if I want to discuss burnout or summer scheduling. So
What is short stack? What are you talking about?
She called it short stack instead of Substack, and so we made fun of her.
Substack.
So
yes.
now she will forever be short stack.
So you can find me on Substack under Michelle Ozimi.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were all
Yes.
just staring at her and we're like, that's not it.
And I knew it wasn't it. And then I wanted pancakes. And
Yeah, and then it did just evolve from
it
there.
did. It
Yes.
did. It did.
So-
So yes, I'm on Substack, Michelle Ozimi.
AKA
Okay,
short
I'm with
stack.
it now. I'm getting
yeah,
it.
you're
I'm with
good.
you, girl.
Yes.
Thanks. Oh, man.
So for you, what can you do to set yourself a deadline and a timeline? Because you could go on this journey for the next 5 years looking for the right person.
I'm very intentional with my time. I'm not somebody that watches TV, and I'm not somebody that that relaxes. I've worked full time since I was 14 years old. I graduated high school early, and I don't know any different than to be a workhorse. That's just who I am as a person. So, with that being said, I usually can facilitate delegating minimally and just taking on all the weight. Now that I have a 2-year-old and a 14-year-old, and my oldest 37-year-old, I'm counting the husband as a child.
That's what we do.
We also have to block out time for family as well to
Huge.
make sure things, work in the household like they should. So time blocking and looking for opportunities. When you're Missy, you really can't take opportunities to be lazy. I have to, if I see a moment to where I can work on something, I have to seize that moment. So if the baby's asleep and the husband's on the TV, I'm pulling up my laptop and I'm trying to focus on getting that next thing done that I need to get done. Or if I'm sitting in a meeting and they get up to go to the bathroom, I'm looking at the text and I'm trying to, post that piece of content that needs to be posted. I do run multiple businesses, so I am constantly trying to seize every second of every day so that it's productive. I'm very intentional with my time. That's why a lot of times when Rick says be here at X time, I am here at that time because I'm in my car doing something else up until that moment. And whenever I get tired, I try to make sure that I'm getting the rest that I need. And the most important thing is to listen to my body so I don't crash and burn. And I've been able to kind of get through it to this point. So I think it's just about not being lazy and taking care of your body and trying to, and it's a struggle. I'm not saying that I'm great at this game. I'm just saying that this is the mindset that I have. Just try to be intentional with my time and trying to make sure that I'm getting the rest that I need and making sure I time block for the family, because, you know, that's what we're doing it for.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's kind of where my space is with that.
Gotcha.
I'm doing the best I can, girls. And some Jesus. I sprinkle some Jesus in there.
Gotta have some Jesus for sure. Ashley, what's next for you?
We'll see. I get my back better so I can jump back into being a little bit more disciplined there. But yeah, I don't really know. It was kind of funny because I'm still going through. I'm halfway through my presidency with Metrotex and everything else. But
What's
that's
that like? What a year for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't, again, built for chaos. So it's like, if it was real calm, this would be boring.
Right.
But it's exciting. And so I think really what I want to do is to your point with being intentional with my time, I also want to be impactful with that time that I spend. And so, I went to Justin, who's our new CEO, and I said, so I'm not going to have a job next year. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, I have my career. I have real estate. That's fine. That's what puts food on the table.
Right.
I said, but I won't have a job. So what are we going to do? Because I need the next iteration of because it also fills my cup because I'm being impactful in the industry and everything else we did. We did just last week. We had the broker summit, which you were there for.
It was amazing.
It was so great. It was, oh my gosh,
that looked packed.
It was packed. There wasn't any more room, and we had
so much fun.
Yeah, we had probably equivalent to about 10,000 agents represented by the brokers and managers that were in that room, and so many that have not been there before. But it was the whole aspect of, if you build it, they will come, instead of just trying to get the bodies in the door, which also is with business building and stuff too. You got to build something that's attractive. And that's the whole point is, it's like, we want leads, we want to do this, we want to, build our business, but did you build something that's attractive? Is it attracting the business that you want? And I think from the Metrotech side, to really see it come to fruition, we've had all of these ideas. Rick, I've been talking to you about this stuff for the last 2-3 years, and sitting there, what do we need to build so the agents and the affiliates and the brokerages come back to the table, and we're finally making that headway, which I text Justin when we were done, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know what an amazing day, and I'm so proud, to work alongside you, and we couldn't do this without you. And he just texted, he said, I just popped the bubbles, and I was about to text you the same thing. So when you have that synergy with the people that are around you, to your point, what you're trying to look for, like, there's no ceiling. And I think that's what's really neat. So I'm going to miss some of that, but I think that's preparing me for what the next iteration is. So maybe doing a little bit of searching on figuring out what that looks like, that I want to build up to.
Where does somebody like you see yourself in 5 years from here?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Independently wealthy. Yeah, that's one of those.
That a girl.
We're gonna manifest that.
There we go.
Right, manifest that. I really enjoy, and I think taking from what I get from my service with Metrotex is probably more on the speaking side. Is something where I think that's really the next iteration for me, and so. We'll see what that looks like, though.
TED Talk.
Yeah.
I love it.
I really like to be impactful, and that's why I love being around Michelle, because I feel like, when you speak, with edification and intentionality and everything else, it's amazing what you can do and inspire in the same room. And so that's why I love to sit here with people like you guys.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Gosh.
I'm always blown away almost on a daily basis. So I have this massive amount of gratitude when I come in and the lights are off or whatever, because this used to be a barbershop, less than 9 months ago. And then to sit here, so speaking of Metrotex, Alina she's like, what about our Zoom? And I'm like, oh, she had a Zoom call that I forgot about.
Oh, I know. Justin just texted me, you're going to get on the Zoom call? And I said, next podcast, I forgot. Whoops.
Yeah. And so I that's why I just took the picture. So I was just texting her. It's like, oh, well, we're in the middle of recording. But I'm blown away as I look over and it's like, oh, wow, they're texting me to do this. And then here I am here. And then it's like, I got all y'all here, where it's like, I'm not paying y'all to be here.
Yeah.
Which like, this blows me away.
Yeah.
And then watching everything that you're doing at Metrotex, because I had such a great and a massive love and sense of gratitude there, because like Roxy, for example, taught me how to write a CE class
Yeah.
that would get approved in Austin.
Yeah.
You know, which that was a game changer on so many different levels, but it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for Metrotex. And so like now to watch it go all come around full circle, long way around the barn,
Yeah.
but coming full circle is just awesome. And I had a blast last week with the 4 parties.
Oh my gosh, real producers. And, you know, I mean, that was great
Love
to have
that it was
that.
at Metrotex.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. And so to have all of them and be able to talk to the top producers and top affiliates in all those 4 geographical areas and be able to say, like, this is your home and we're here to be an extension of your business and your brokerages and what that looks like. And to really say, instead of us saying, this is what we're going to give you, what do you need from us? And I think that can be, you know, that script can be used in any aspect, whether it's our family life, you know, maybe ask your spouse what they would like from you instead of telling them what they're going to get.
Absolutely.
I do that a lot. Oh, no, I didn't say all the time. I just said every once in a while, maybe ask. But it's the same thing in the business. Going back to our clients, we know what we think we're really good at, but if we actually asked our clients what they covet the most in our relationship,
What they need from
what
us.
they need
Yeah.
from us, and what they love working with you, what if somebody were to sit there and say, "Oh, I work with Missy because she's this, or she does this well."
Why would they refer you?
Yeah,
Like, what would you tell?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's like everybody likes to say like, "Oh, I got a guy,"
Yeah.
but then it's like, what comes after that? Like
Yeah.
you got a guy that ... what?
Yes. And it's that differentiator. And right now that's what we're doing at Metrotex is we're not focusing on anybody else. We're just trying to be the best archetype of what a realtor organization looks like to serve our real estate community. And I think it's the same thing in our businesses is what do we want that to look like? Don't compare. You know, comparison is the thief of joy. And I do that all the time. And when I get tripped up on social media or whatever else, I just unfollow that person because I'm like, that's not healthy for my mindset, right? I'm not going to unfriend you. But I'm going to unfollow because this isn't healthy, right?
And if you don't know Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. I know, it's so
Unfollow,
good.
yes.
Yes, absolutely. No, but I think that's the biggest thing is sometimes, you know, success leaves clues and there's no joke in that. So align yourself with people that are where you want to be. But then
Yes.
it's also okay to deviate from the
Know
path.
who you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I can hang out with Michelle all day long, but we have different goals and objectives. I don't want to be a writer on Short Stack. I don't. That sounds awful.
Understood.
But how did you get there, and how did you carve out your objectives, and what are you looking at there? And
what
then,
can you learn?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. What can I learn
Yes.
from that from you, and then go down my own path? And I think that's just really important, whether it's personal
And
or
we can go together.
yeah, we can go together.
Yes.
That's community.
It's community.
It is, and it's so important in our industry today.
Yeah, for
especially
sure.
for women. So much so for women.
Awesome.
And Rick can come with us.
Yeah. Well, this one goes in the win column for you
Yes,
women.
absolutely.
And me.
And you.
Thanks for being here, Missy.
Yes.
That was so
Thanks,
fun.
guys.
So yeah, so
I'm
Missy and I have
grateful.
another announcement, or an announcement. I guess there wasn't
I am
really
not
an announcement.
announcing anything. Are we
Oh,
announcing
okay,
things?
never mind.
I mean, what do we want? I mean, Rick,
We
you,
might.
you're the bus driver.
There's a greater than 0 chance that there will be an announcement at some point in time.
Love that. We
Good.
love announcements on the show.
Yes.
So, yeah, cool.
All right.
All right,
Well,
then.
see you
Gotta
guys
wait.
next week.
As soon as the ink dries, we'll hit the mic.
Oh.
Oh, okay. She
Okay.
said that.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
Understood.
Yes.
Hey,
We can
Winning
annou-
Women's Wednesday.
Another fabulous day.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Thanks.
Bye.